Today we're going to get into the fundamentals of a Park West fade. The first thing we want to do is create our first guideline. This is the first step in the Park West fade, is creating your guideline. You want to make sure that your guideline is balanced on both sides. So we're coming right above his ear, right below his temple, creating our first guideline. We want to make sure that the guideline is balanced on both sides. Okay, I know you've seen a lot of fades that are crooked or unbalanced, and that's due to the foundation being off. We want to make sure that we are using nice, smooth strokes going against the grain. You want to make sure that you're not using choppy and abrupt strokes. Okay, we're continually going against the grain. You pull down the ear and making sure that it is balanced on both sides. Continuing to go against the grain. Again, we want to make sure it's nice and balanced, and this is going to carry through. We're going to repeat the same procedure on the other side. You want to make sure that you're getting all the excess hair down by the nape of his neck. That will help on the back end of the haircut to eliminate a lot of cleanup work that you would have to do. We're going to continue with our motion of making our first guideline on the opposite side of the head. Again, we want to use nice balanced strokes going against the grain. As you can see, we made our first guideline on the other side, so now we're just coming around on the other side, repeating our same movement. Right above the ear, we're coming up. Again, this is going to be a mid-level fade, not high. An example of a high fade, of course, is a military fade, but we're not quite going that high. We're basically connecting our guideline that we created on his right hand side with the one that we are making on our left hand side. Now, one of the tools that you have at your disposal is your mirror. Make sure that you turn your client toward the mirror and make sure that the guideline is balanced on both sides. I can't stress this enough in terms of making sure that each guideline that you create, not just your first guideline, but your second guideline and any other guidelines that you create within the interior of the haircut, making sure that it is balanced, because it will completely throw off your fade if your guideline is not balanced. Again, you want to make sure that you are using nice, smooth strokes, as I am using here, not choppy, abrasive strokes. Now, the haircut is supposed to be an enjoyable experience for your customer. Now, it can't be an enjoyable experience if you are heavy-handed and making it a bad experience for your customer. As you can see, we're connecting the guidelines, using your chair, spinning the customer around as you need to in terms of working your chair. A lot of students get in the habit of running around the chair and not utilizing the chair for what it is used for. Again, we are using nice, consistent strokes going against the grain, and it's balanced on both sides. Now, again, you can use your mirror, or you can just turn your client around and look at him dead in the front. Just to kind of eyeball it and make sure that it is balanced on both sides. As you can see, his bone structure kind of creates darker spots, so you want to make sure that you are using your blending capabilities to offset that. Okay, as you know, the bone structure in different customers' heads varies, so that's one thing that you will realize in the consultation. Okay. You want to just continue to make sure that you are developing your barber eye, in terms of areas that you may need to go back and go over. Again, this will help to prevent on the back end of the haircut a lot of the cleanup that you would have to do. So just continue to practice your strokes, practice your techniques. Okay, you want to have a nice, smooth stroke with the clippers, laying the clippers flat on the scalp, elevated slightly, so the teeth of the blade you allow the teeth of the blade to do its work. Okay, as you can see, we have a nice guideline that is balanced on both sides. We connected it. We started on one side, came to the right just above the occipital bone, and we started on the other side and came around and connected it. Okay, so now this is your first step in the Park West fade, is G1. Now we're going to move into our second step, which is LDL, lowest desired length. Okay, So again, nice smooth strokes going against the grain, making sure that it's balanced on both sides. And then when you get into G2 a little bit later on, it's going to be strictly parallel to the cut. Okay, this is G1 on both sides, nice and balanced.